Roll the camera. Okay.
Scene 1, take 1. Scene 1, take 2.
This is your life. I'm Brian, and tonight we have a very special guest, except they do not know they're our guest of honour. Who knows, it could even be you. Let me first give you a few clues. He has a good sense of humour, but is not a comedian. The bishop sent him to the army as a chaplain in his 30s, and 58 years ago he had a hard choice to make. Would he try as an All Black or join the priesthood? Our guest tonight is at this very moment enjoying a chat in the club rooms of the local golf club. Let's go and surprise them.
Monsignor John Carde, this is your life. Really? Oh wow, how exciting. Am I on TV?
You certainly are. And not only that, we are going to learn all about your life while we head back to the studio. We will let our viewers in on who we are going to talk to first. This person has an important part to you playing in our guest's life. This person was your first teacher. Had she not become a priest, you may have followed in her footsteps. Teaching others. Here's our on-the-spot reporter with that very important person.
I'm Kathleen, and here we have Mrs. Carde, John's mother. Welcome, and thanks for joining us today. What are some of the things you remember about John as a youngster?
He was our first child, the eldest of 4. He had to travel to school by train every morning because we lived on a farm away from Wanganui. He went to the convent school first and then to the Marist Brothers School. It was sad when he had to go to boarding school in Masterton for his secondary education. He was such a hard worker at school and loved English and history best. He was also a very fine sportsman. When he decided to train for the priesthood, he had to work hard to get there. In those days, they had to pay for their own education. He did lots of jobs to earn money. He worked in a cheese factory on the farm. He helped his father, who was an electrician. He even worked in Hallenstein's. He did work hard.
Thanks, Mrs. Carde. And that's all from me. Tell us, Father John, what do you think about that?
That brings back some memories. On the train every day there were some antics. I wore my Catholic school uniform, and some of the older students would say things like, "Carde, sing us him." I knew they were only teasing, but I still had to do it. One of my brothers at the Marie School taught me that books are the most beautiful things in the world. This is one of the most important lessons that I've remembered to this day.
Fascinating story. Now for the next influential person from your life. Do you recognise this person?
I'm Alex, and joining me now is Sergeant Jim. What was it like having Father John as a chaplain with you in Vietnam?
He was one of the best. He worked alongside all of my men. He didn't complain when we didn't stick to a timetable, because being in a war didn't mean we didn't know just what was going to happen next.
How long was he with you?
He was with me about 7 years. We were in Vietnam, Singapore, Malaya, Indonesia, and Thailand during those years.
What were the qualities you saw in young Father John?
He was caring and considerate towards everyone, Catholic and non-Catholic alike. He was a good listener, and my men found him really easy to talk to.
Well, Sergeant Jim, that sounds just like him, and we're out of time. Over to you, Brian.
Thanks, Alex. Well, how are you feeling, Father John? This must be all about overwhelming. Can you tell us something about your life back then?
I've been thinking about my time overseas with the servicemen. I left them in 1971 and was so pleased to be home. It was just when I was invited back to the Union in 1975 North that I realized that my job was not finished. These men were a mess. Some drank too much and had many trouble with their family relationships. I decided I just had to stick with them. These men didn't come back as heroes as they did after other wars. They even had eggs and tomatoes thrown at them in Auckland when they returned. These memorials were covered with graffiti. I stayed with them to help them. They still need a chaplain who will listen. Perhaps we shouldn't have gone to the war. But then after Vietnam, no other country became communist. So who knows?
Let's trust our on-the-spot reporter who has more on your life since then. Who could she be talking to, I wonder?
Thanks, Brian. And I'm Tamar, and joining me now is Father Michael, parish priest of St. Patrick's, where Monsignor John is living now. How long have you known Monsignor John?
Oh, a long time. Ever since I was ordained priest in the Wellington Diocese. He is a colourful character. He's been in quite a number of parishes, and including his time he spent in the army. Us priests, when we get together, we like to joke and make fun, so, yeah.
What are the qualities you admire most in Monsignor John?
He has a good sense of humour. We've even been known to do a double act while preaching at school masses. He has different ways of relating to everyone, and he always says hello and is friendly with people he sees walking down the street.
Thank you, Father Michael. And back to Brian in the studio.
Can I just say something here? You know, it's good having Michael as a flatmate. He has the academic education, and I like to listen to what he has to say about different subjects. And I have so many different life experiences. We work well as a team.
What are some of the things you like most about being a priest?
The people. We are just ordinary people, and we are so often being invited into other people's lives. When they are happy at the birth of their child or at a wedding, to when they are sad after the death of a loved one. We are always welcomed, and we do what we can to help. You know, one thing I would like the children at St. Patrick's School to know about when they leave school in Year 8 is how to listen, and especially how to listen to God. I go into the school most weeks and do medication with them. They are great, and they are becoming great listeners.
Well, it's a very important role you play with those students too. Well, we've come to the end of this week's edition of This Is Your Life. I hope that you at home enjoy your show, and we hope Paige enjoyed reviewing your life to help you remember these moments. Here is your own copy of Your Life. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. From the whole team at This Is Your Life, goodbye and nohora.
Ladies and gentlemen. Roll the camera. Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we are featuring an interview with a very peculiar-looking gentleman.
Scene 1, take 1.